Matot Masei. 40 years passed since the Israelites escaped from Egypt, and finally, as they are ready to enter the Promised Land, Moses was approached by 2.5 tribes with a request that made him utterly angry. The tribes of Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh told him that the east side of the Jordan is a much better place to raise livestock, and therefore they would prefer to stay there rather than to cross the Jordan into Canaan, later will be called Israel. Moses was livid. "How dare you," he said to them, "to abandon your brothers and sisters in the war of occupying Canaan?" The 2.5 tribes listened to his long reprimand patiently, and when he was done, they told him that he completely misunderstood their intention. Quote, "We would like to build sheepfolds for our flocks and towns for our children, but we will then arm ourselves and go as an advance guard before the Israelites until we have established them in their home. We will not return to our homes until every Israelite has received his inheritance." End quote. "Don't worry," they assured Moses. "We will build what is needed for our animals and for our children, and then we will be in the front line of the war and will not go back to our homes until we help the rest of the tribes to conquer the land." Moses is pleased with the response, but as he repeats their plan, he slightly changes the words. Moses replied, quote, "Build towns for your children and sheepfolds for your flock." End quote. While the tribes mentioned their animals first and then their children, Moses reversed the order and mentioned the children before the animals. In the most subtle way, Moses communicated that while their livelihood is important, their families must come first. How profound and relevant this message is even 3,200 years later. So often I hear people describing their parent as a good provider. They're grateful for the excellent education they received, expensive vacations, and for being raised wanting for nothing. But then their tone changes as they lament not spending enough time with them. Judaism never underestimated the importance of money and sustenance, without which, the Mishnah says, we cannot have Torah or any kind of spiritual life. But here Moses warns us not to make our livelihood, developing our businesses, advancing professionally, or building a practice the main focus while leaving our kids and families lost in the shuffle. Shabbat Shalom.